Tools needed for this: drill, punch down, wire clippers, and some good tape. I'm going to be using the T586B schedule to punch these Ethernet. These are Cat 5e Ethernet cables. Same technique for Cat 6 or 7 or 8 or any of the others. Just heavier gauge wire, more challenging to deal with. This is a rat's nest that I basically inherited on this project. The wires ran just to a central location, but none of them were punched down. So this is a Leviton 24 punch panel. So they're all labeled on the back. Trying to schedule each bedroom and separating them bedrooms from the office and theater room, things like that. It's corresponding coax cable that's ran to each one of the bedrooms. This is still the preferred method that they're using in homes today. It's just a matter of the size of the wires. Eventually, probably in the next 10 years, it might all be fiber. But for right now, this is it. You bring fiber in from the outside. It comes in to the router. And from the router, it's ran up to the switch itself, and from the switch it jumps, and you'll see the jumper wires that will go into this patch panel, taking it on into the individual locations throughout the house. It's also worth noting that a few of these are security cameras that can be integrated. Could separate them, but it's not necessary, and helps the residents be able to remotely operate some cameras and scan and span their garage and a few other locations in their home. Just preparing the patch panel to be flipped over and to be popped into place. Leviton has these little black garnet plugs that snap into place into their prefabricated cabinet. Nothing difficult about this. It's just a series of wires. There's 8 twisted pair. There's actually 4 twisted pairs, so a total of 8 wires per line that you end up dropping into one plug-in. And that RJ45 jack is what everybody's used to seeing on the end of the Ethernet cable. So just pop this panel into place, trying to give as much room in the cabinet for future access to whoever has to maintain it. Very common tool to use when you got a rat's nest like this is just some decent zip ties. What would we do without those things? Inside the Leviton cabinet, I punched out 1 2-inch in diameter hole that has a rubber padded garnet around it, so the wires come through it. This is not necessary to code because this is all low voltage wiring. The only code access things you'll see as you pan back here in a minute is the electrical sockets that are, there's two of them that are in the bottom, protected inside of their, at the bottom of the panel itself. And that's shielded and it's all to code. Now these patch panels are 1.5 feet in length. Just ones I had available. Probably could have got away with 1 foot to jump between the switch and the panel. And you'll notice that the punch panel has 24. There's 6 in each row and there's 4 rows. But the panel, the punch panel has obviously more than what these owners had a switch for. So that, I think it's a Netgear switch, and has 16 going across there. So they are not going to be using all of the locations throughout the house. So we just hooked up the 16 most usable, but they can easily move those jumper cables from one switch location to another and have access to it. So the idea here is to make it fully functional for the homeowner, but at the same time getting the lion's share of the most important areas in the house with a hot plug-in. And there's a lot of wireless arguments that are out there, because wireless has come a long way, and there is wireless capabilities throughout this entire 4,500 square foot home, and it is not a problem unless you're you're dealing with, even when you have visitors come and somebody wants to plug in because they're working remotely, you're guaranteed no interruptions and higher bandwidth. And the reason is because wireless obviously is not the same bandwidth that you can maintain as when you're literally plugged in. So those are the capabilities, even though this whole entire house could be just simply wired, and 99% of everybody would probably not have an issue with it. But the office in this particular home has 2 ports that are used for backup servers and all kinds of other things. So those obviously you want to have hardwired. Once you have a box and utility set up like this, you can even put a flash backup drives in place and other things into this cabinet, totally out of the way of everything, but everyone on the home network would be able to have access to that for pictures, videos, whatever shared files. Labeling each one of the ports is always important. I use Leviton's little slide-in sticks here, but make my own tab separators. But it's always a good idea to come up with a 11 by 8.5 sheet that you can post on the inside of the cabinet door. Looks complicated, but it's not. Very straightforward. Basically patch down all the cables using the same schedule of the 8 wires that you use or was used in the individual rooms or locations throughout the house, so that they match up. And that's it. clean and ready to go.